Alright guys, UFC 134. Before I get into that, should go back and tell you guys I went 3 for 3 I believe in my UFC 133 picks. Obviously Evans over Ortiz and Belfort over Akiyama. Those are pretty clear-cut picks, and I got Rory McDonald right as well. Missed the Ebersol fight. And the two others that I thought were pretty clear cut. But so on to UFC 134, Silva versus Okami. I really don't think you need to talk about, or I need to talk about the main event. It's pretty clear cut that Silva's just gonna charge right through Okami. I mean, you know, it's supposed to be Silva versus Okami too, and that's kind of a joke because the only reason that Silva lost to Okami is because he got DQ'd for the illegal upkick a while back. But UFC 134, the rest of the card, and including the Silva Okami fight, is just Brazil all the way down the card. Besides the main event, I think that Brazil, which is where it's taking place, obviously, is going to be rather disappointed with the outcome of this card. Second fight on the card, co-main event, or whatever you want to call it, Mauricio Shogun Rua versus Forrest Griffin. This is probably actually one of the tougher fights to call on the card. You know, they both have a lot to prove. You know, it's gonna be a good fight. I would say that obviously Shogun Rua has been more active in the UFC in the past, you know, year and a half or so than Forrest Griffin. Forrest Griffin did get that win over Rich Franklin, which, you know, Rich Franklin was great in his glory days, but, you know, after a couple beatings, he kind of lost, you know, that momentum. Kind of like, you know, the old school guys like, you know, Rich Franklin, Matt Hughes, Randy Couture, you know, all great fighters, but, you know, they all kind of teetered off in their careers. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Who on this one. You know, he's fresher and stronger than Forrest Griffin. You know, Forrest Griffin's been up and down in his career, and just got to go with Who on this one. Third fight is Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira versus Brendan Schaub. Gotta go with Schaub on this one. Kid's just a beast. You know, I just see him not really plowing through Nogueira, but just beating him, you know, pretty decisively. You know, those were kind of the three big hits on the card. The rest of the card, and I'm looking at it right now online, it's just, you have Paulo Thiago in there, you know, Ross Pearson. You know, the three top are really the only big names that they have in there. But go ahead and finish off the main card bouts. You have Edson Barboza versus Ross Pearson. You know, I don't really... kind of unknown people. Barboza's 8-0, undefeated. Ross Pearson is 12-4. Obviously, Pearson with more UFC experience. I'm gonna have to go with Pearson. You know, he's just a submission machine. You know, if you look at his recent fights, you just go down the list, and it's just, you know, rear naked, triangle, armbar, rear naked. You know, it's just a submission machine. I don't think Barboza's going to be able to cope with that. And so I'm taking Pearson in that one. Final fight is Stanislav Nedkov versus Luis Kane. Apologize if I butchered his name. Nedkov is, you know, another one of those guys. Not a lot of UFC, well, no, I take that back, no UFC experience for Nedkov. He is 11-0 though, going up against Luis Kane. Obviously the more experienced fighter in UFC and out of UFC. And even though he's had a tough road, you know, his past couple fights, I'm gonna have to go ahead and pick Louis Kane to win this one. I'll take knockout on this one. Louis Kane over Medcove. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I do better than 3-3. So we'll see.